rAVe Radio. With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and raves with Gary K.
Hey everyone, this is Gary K, and welcome to another edition of my Rants and Raves video cast. I've got two special guests today, as you can see above me. I've got Erin from HETMA, but also from Johns Hopkins. You know her, obviously, with HETMA and on the board and helped create the organization that is the Higher Education Technology Managers Alliance. And we've got Paul Harris, who is the CEO and founder of Aurora Multimedia. First, I want to start with Paul. Paul, I don't think a lot of people know what you just did, but you made a huge size, not just sizable, but huge donation to HETMA. Talk about what you donated and why.
We donated a few thousand touch panels of 10-inch and 15. And in our world, they're more than a touch panel. They're also a brain, so they can code in it. And they can even use it as an Android panel too, since it has Android. And we did it for a few reasons. One, we do like giving back to the education and to the community. And in this case, one of the reasons that usually makes it hard to do these type of donations is, do you give it to one school? Do you spread it out? And what do you do? So HETMA was a great way to facilitate this type of a transaction where they can mitigate who deserves it, who's it's going to, because the goal is to not give it to schools who can afford it. It's to give it to schools who normally cannot afford it. And so this will be really good, and we'll expand on that, which we'll go into more in a little bit.
Yeah, Erin, first off, congratulations on the work that HETMA's done and you've done personally. And obviously, Johns Hopkins is not one of those schools that would get this donations because you've got, I wouldn't say plenty of money, but as being a private school, you've got more money than the average school. And we're privileged here at UNC as well. But I know there's a lot of schools that probably attend HETMA meetings and go to InfoComm and are jealous because they're watching and seeing you talk about all this new technology, but don't have an opportunity to participate. So I love Paul's vision for bringing the technology to the schools that don't have the funds right now.
Absolutely. We are super excited to see what schools will dream up, essentially, because we're still framing out exactly how the application process is going to work.
Sure.
But we absolutely want any college, school, university to have an opportunity to at least apply, and we want to fine tune everything so that they have the best chance of success, so that we're not just going, here's some equipment. We want to make sure that the schools are going to be able to have the infrastructure to support these, panels also. And we're hoping that this, donation that Paul has made to us will spur others to, become, get a little generous and help fill out some of these spaces that these, the schools are going to put these panels in.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, Paul, most time when you see, companies making donations like this, they're donating old gear or stuff that's been discontinued. In your case, you're donating current product, which is quite different. And what's unique about this, as you kind of alluded to, Paul, is that they're not just touch panels. They're actually touch panels with a control system built into them. So it's not just that they could go in applications to control rooms, but actually, if a university was smart, and I would say, look beyond the AV department, this could be a great opportunity for the computer science department to teach programming, to build whatever you want on these, because they're more of they're filled with a universal programming language, right, Paul?
Yeah, so these are React's control system engines. They are current models. They're not something discontinued. The one thing that people didn't realize is when we were doing the temperature tablets during COVID, those were full React's control system panels. They're extremely capable of doing a lot. And one of the things that I'm going to throw out there, which is going to be really good, is when we're working with HETMA, this isn't just about this one-time donation. While it's a nice boost and introduction, the goal is we're going to get case studies out of it. We're going to have contests of who can do something imaginative with it. And then whoever comes up with the one that we determine will come up with a mechanism to determine who deserves it. we're going to donate additional equipment such as additional ports and peripherals, maybe an AV over IP system that they continue to grow the system. So this is the catalyst. And then over time, I'm going to give them other tools to continue to grow it. As far as the units itself goes, they're running our React control system. Inside of it, they're going to have access to our tools, so they can use our tools if they want to code it, or because we use non-proprietary methods, Node.js, JavaScript, and HTML, and they're automating. And so it gives a good real-world example. So one, they can learn a trade that gets them into the AV industry and maybe helps our industry get more knowledgeable people into the industry. So it has that benefit to it. And it's also going to hopefully give them a nice learning of using skills that they normally learn with or without Aurora, such as JavaScript and HTML or PHP, whatever, and then see how they can apply it into a real world, serve up web pages, understand the difference between local host and a remote IP address. And so we'll see where they go with it. And we're going to also use our education department, Chuck Espinoza, as a lot of people know him. We're going to be offering his services to have webinars and things of that nature to also join in and educate them on not just our tools, but on just how this affects you in the real world. And Chuck's really good at doing that.
And Aaron, this is a multi-million-dollar donation, so this is not just like, you know, a few panels that they're giving you. You know, you kind of alluded to a call out to other manufacturers because, you know, even though let's say a display brand, you know, does want to donate a discontinued model, you'll take it, right? I mean, because in reality, those discontinued models are hanging on the walls of my classrooms and your classrooms already, and they are going to work. And so you could literally, hopefully, I guess, get some complete systems out of this and an opportunity. And, you know, the way I look at this, I think a lot of integrators would look at this and say, well, this is not so good because you're bypassing the integration community. But in reality, everyone starts somewhere. So when they put these in, they're going to grow. They're going to grow with this. So they're going to end up buying more stuff. I think this is smart.
Oh, absolutely. And we, you know, we've been in talks with some integrators to potentially, you know, at least help in putting, you know, the schools in to install some of this stuff, because some of these schools have one guy who does all the things. So we don't want to automatically be like, oh, well, we're not going to give you 100 rooms worth of stuff because you can never implement that. You know, we're also looking for, you know, help integration wise, as well as, you know, flat panels, projectors, any sort of systems to really start filling these out and helping these schools. And then we can get, you know, some really good results out of it.
Yeah. And Paul, a lot of campuses already have the network infrastructure in place. So they don't actually have to go to HDMI or go to RGB or anything like that. A lot of them already have the network infrastructure in place, and they may not know that you can actually do AV over IP right now. And by the way, these control systems and panels will work either AV over IP or the traditional way. So you have the option to do both. You kind of mentioned that you're willing to do some AV over IP stuff. I think that helps get companies in the door for that, Paul. Do you see, I mean, obviously you must have some kind of internal initiative to embrace colleges or universities more? Is that the idea behind
totally.
this?
I mean, education's key. I mean, it's got to start from somewhere. And sometimes, like I said, especially in our industry, a lot of times they don't learn until they get into that particular job position, and they're not even exposed to even know that this industry exists. Unfortunately, as big as we all think we are, we're all tiny in the scheme of things. So to expose that there are these type of things out there is fantastic. And by the way, I do want to point out, since we're talking about other manufacturers stepping up, and it obviously it's not just about people that compliment us. Come on, competitors, get it on here, join in on the fun. You know, we got to do the call out and put it down. You can't let Aurora be the only person making some donation here. Pony up here. Don't let us be the only ones here. By the way, sure, I want one of those purple microphones that Gary K has. I got to personally test it in my office as well. That way you get plugs every time I'm doing something too. So I need a donation over here of that purple microphone. Doesn't have to be purple.
Why would you want purple though? You don't have.
I was going to say it doesn't have to be purple. We can go with a different color, but his is standing. I guess it's the rAVe color, huh?
It is. They match.
I guess I need a green one. So I want mine in Aurora green.
There you go. All right. Well, if you want to learn more about Aurora, go to auroramm.com. Aaron, I'm curious, sort of what HETMA's got going on right now that we should be aware of. And if you're in the higher education community, HETMA.org, what do you got going on that we should plug right now?
Yeah. So actually, Friday the 13th, we have another roadshow event in Chicago. We have a roadshow event coming up in LA in November that coincides with Times Higher Ed. We also had recently announced a partnership with Flex Space. So that'll be another exciting avenue that is part of our community. And we're hoping that by around November 1st, we'll have those applications ready for this fantastic, Aurora sponsorship or scholarship opportunity.
And by the way, HETMA and the rAVe agency are partnering on Launch Week 8 and on ProAV Day. You're the headline sponsor of our ProAV of that day with HETMA, and you can earn up to 10 CTS RUs attending Launch Week 8. All you got to do is go to launch.com, lavnch.com. There'll be a lot of people from higher ed. We always have a lot of higher ed attendees. It's probably one of the biggest events that y'all have every year for in support of us. So we really appreciate it. And if you're interested in becoming a member of HETMA, go to hetma.org. Paul, thank you very much. Always great to see you. Love your I love everything that you're doing right now, and I love the sort of enthusiasm that you have for the industry. And Aaron, thanks for all you've done, not just for HETMA, but for women in our industry. I know you've been an inspiration to a lot of people in both higher education and in AV to see all the things that you've done. So thank you very much for that. And everyone, if you want to see all of our video casts, just go to rapubs.com. Thanks for watching.
With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and